Folks, one of my favorites, Benny Johnson, broke a story today that was actually revealed through Julie Kelly. Actually gets the whole credit for this. Julie Kelly's been like a duck on a June bug on this story. I'm talking about Michael Schellenberger, information about the binder, about the Crossfire hurricane, the information that they raided Mar-a-Lago behind trying to find. Months ago, a little bit of backstory here. Months ago, the Democratic Party, or should I say NARA, was looking for some documentation, and the FBI and the CIA were trying to corroborate where this binder full of information went. And they believe, this is my speculation, they believe that Trump took the binder with him, and that's why they raided Mar-a-Lago. Well, we're finding out more and more that Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and several of the deep state people that were out to get Trump since day one will be exposed in that Crossfire hurricane investigation information. This was requested as well during the Durham investigation. This has been talked about a few times. Most people don't really know enough about it. I've listened to Kash Patel discuss it a couple of times. He is a brilliant mind on Team Trump, and he was part of the NSA, so he knows the story inside and out. Actually, about 18 months ago, Kash Patel was telling this whole story. And today, we're finding out Judge Eileen Cannon is going to release all this documentation that they have about what they were trying to do to Trump. And in this information, we're going to find out that Barack Obama and Joe Biden, and probably Hillary Clinton, and Strzok, and Carter Page, and Brennan, CIA director, were all in on this spy on Trump even before he showed up into the Oval Office on day one. They had all kinds of tripwires, backdoor people, spies and foxes in the hen house, people that Trump thought were good referrals that ended up being just a bunch of Trump haters in the end. Well, before I get too far into this, let me go ahead and let you know that more and more of this information will be brought out over the next several weeks. Judge Eileen Cannon, which is over one of the Trump cases, has decided that Jack Smith does not get to withhold information.
Details about how Obama's CIA targeted Trump and started the entire Russia hoax. For years, we were told that tips from an Australian diplomat tipped off the FBI after a random conversation with Papadopoulos, a no-name 20-something. But according to new reporting by Michael Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi, the whole thing was a CIA setup. Former CIA Director John Brennan identified 26 Trump associates to be targeted by the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, and then those interactions were the targets and were targeted by the FBI as suspicious. And that's how the FBI launched the Russia collusion hoax. The details of this entire operation have been stored in a top-secret binder in a secret room in Washington. Trump ordered the whole thing declassified, and now the rumor is that the binder might be missing.
Was the reason or a reason for the FBI raid of Mar-a-Lago, and we'll be discussing that tomorrow. But obviously, if this binder contains what we have been told that it contains, which may include raw intelligence, information showing that the U.S. government, the CIA and the intelligence community of the U.S. government, initiated the Russia collusion hoax, that it did not occur in the way that the official story, including the Durham investigation, had portrayed it, then that's extremely serious information. And it may be, if the FBI then went to go get it in order to continue the cover-up of this information, that obviously adds an even more dramatic wrinkle to this. Again, we'll have more to say about it tomorrow, but this is a huge, huge story. I mean, I've been thinking about it in the history of the United States of America. Have we ever had something like this where the intelligence community was weaponized against a political candidate and using our foreign allies to do it? I can't think of a more important or dramatic story.
No, I don't even know what they're talking about. Do you? Does anyone? Well, I know from the Biden Justice Department leaks to Newsweek that they're going in there. The whole point of this raid was to go get President Trump's declassified personal copy of the Crossfire hurricane records because they're so damning for Obama, Biden, Hillary, James Clapper, Susan Rice, the FBI, the intel community. That's what this raid is about. This was so unprecedented and unnecessary and unlawful unless you understand that was the real reason for this.
Okay. And wait a second. So the CIA is losing these binders of Russian intelligence information. That sounds like what Cash told us nigh on 18 months ago when he was in studio. And sure enough, you said they have all of this information exonerating Donald Trump in the Russiagate ordeal hoax, and the government is sitting on it. They won't allow it to be made public. And now suddenly those binders go missing. What's going on, Cash?
It is the ultimate government con job. Nobody lost that binder. The Russians and the Iranians didn't break into the Central Intelligence Agency, then break into a skiff, then break into a safe, and then secretly escape with the materials so they could blame Donald Trump for missing documents. The CIA knows exactly where that binder is. So does the Department of Justice. But their grundoons in the media are like, how do we turn this on Donald Trump? Because it actually exonerates Donald Trump. So what do? We make it look as if Donald Trump stole the binder, which is completely preposterous. They actually know that. And oh, by the way, there's an email from the Department of Justice to the National Archives that says the binder has been returned. Thank you for giving it to us.
Wow, folks, this is really getting exciting. We have got Judge Eileen Cannon exposing documents from Jack Smith that he doesn't want exposed. Julie Kelly, if you don't know who that is, go check her out. I've got her here on Steve Bannon. She'll be explaining a little bit more about what's going on. She's the one that broke this story. She gets full credit. A lot of the clips that I showed previously earlier in the video, I took from Benny Johnson. He was one of the first people to interview Julie Kelly about this several months ago. Cash Patel has discussed, like I showed you already, several times. He knew about this 18 months ago. He was definitely in the know. We're actually starting to get a little clearer picture of what exactly is going on. The fact of the matter is when all this stuff comes out, not only will it help exonerate Trump, but it will prove who all was involved in trying to be treasonous to our country in the name of Trump derangement syndrome. And that's just the facts, folks. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below about this crazy information. And this is just the beginning. Judge Eileen Cannon said she is not done with this. She wants to see it all. And I'm just grateful to know that we're getting a little more exposure, folks. This exposure is right on time, never late. It's all going to come to a head, boil over, about election time, hopefully in a good way. But anytime we find out about any of the corruption, any of these horrible things they've tried to do to our country and Trump, it's a good thing to know. It's not good news, but it's a good thing to know. Not just for transparency's sake, but so we can prosecute these people later. And so the American people can actually have a real choice of who they want to vote for between now and then, because they actually hear a little more truth than the mainstream media narrative that they've been fed this whole time. And the way that happens is people start waking up. They start hearing things that make no sense to them, and they hear a different version of it, and they're like, no, that one sounds more like the accurate. And so people start questioning their reasoning, and then you get them red-pilled. That's the way it works, folks. We got to get all this information out there as much as possible. I do want to say thank God for people like Steve Bannon and Benny Johnson and this lady here, Julie Kelly. Go check her out on Twitter. That's where she keeps all her, that's one of her best platforms, I would say, as far as updates go. But she has been on this, like I said, like a duck on a June bug. And I'm glad to see that the case against Trump by Jack Smith, the Judge Eileen Cannon, is now getting into the can of worms with Jack Smith and the Biden administrations and the Obama administration's corruption. You see, it's all tied together, folks. And this is the very thing that's going to prove it. I love it, folks. Now, right here, it says, let me grab my goggles real quick. I have a hard time. I don't like to squint. Oh, that's so much better. It says, Julie Kelly tells of a more than 3-month battle involving Judge Eileen Cannon, the Department of Justice, Special Counsel Jack Smith, and President Trump's attorney and co-defendants. The objective to unseal and make public the documents and records as far as basically Crossfire Hurricane, if you remember that name. They're not going to call it that, but that's exactly what it's about. And they're saying at this point it has to do with how the documents that Trump had with North Korea is part of the reason they raided him at Mar-a-Lago. Well, we all know that we're all starting to figure out at this point they raided Mar-a-Lago for the Crossfire Hurricane records that Trump probably declassified on his way out the door and took with him, which is his property still to this day, whether he chooses to share it with the government or not. They've got their own copy of it, but they want his copy because of the incriminating evidence involved in just the way they handled him. And a lot of this has already been proven with the timeline of when they tried to take Trump's executive privilege at the same time when NARA was trying to put him under investigation, or actually referring investigative things to the Department of Justice. And now we have 91 charges. That's the way that goes, folks. But at any rate, let's go ahead and get into this. Julie Kelly, all props to her just for breaking out this can of worms. It was past due. I love it. I love it. Here we go, folks.
Documents case, man.
So this has been more than a 3-month battle with Judge Aileen Cannon, the Department of Justice, Special Counsel Jack Smith, and Trump's attorneys and co-defendants to unseal and make public documentation and records that signal and prove that Joe Biden's White House, his general counsel, and the Department of Justice, and the FBI, and the National Archives, and the intelligence community, among other agencies, were all in cahoots as early as May of 2021 to manufacture a documents, records-related investigation and prosecution of Donald Trump. So what happened yesterday is finally Judge Cannon, who, as you know, I've talked to you about,
hold it. Hang on. Whoa. Hang on. Give me that again. That's like a bombshell.
What did I say?
Take it slow. I'm a simple guy. You're what you're saying about all this conspiracy, that you're saying that this is all organized. Walk me through that.
No conspiracy.
About what you've been fighting for in these documents.
Exactly. So this is actually, you have to give kudos to Judge Cannon, who is so courageous and has continued to confront Special Counsel Jack Smith in his attempt to keep information, not just from Donald Trump and his co-defendants, but also from the American people. And now we know why, Steve, because yesterday an extensive motion that had been redacted under a protective order and that Jack Smith wanted to keep that way, in addition to dozens of exhibits that demonstrated close collaboration between Joe Biden's White House, Joe Biden's general counsel, Joe Biden's Department of Justice, Joe Biden's FBI, the National Archives, Joe Biden's intelligence community, to once again work behind the scenes.
I'm going to stop right there just for a second, folks. If you don't realize, this is the same document. There's the redacted version. Got about 75% of it blacked out. They actually got the full version. Got 2 words blacked out. I love it. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. That is real exposure. We need that. Thank God for these people doing due diligence, trying to get this out there. Great job.
To concoct and manufacture some sort of documents or records case against Donald Trump. And this dates back at least to May of 2021, where, as you know, the archives, working with DOJ, pressuring Team Trump to turn over what they insisted were government records that they were entitled to under the Presidential Records Act. So finally, as you know, he produced those records, but they were impatient, we were told, and they were taking that time in 2021 to concoct another criminal case and investigation, which they did. And they were working collaboratively with Jonathan Sue, who is Biden's White House general counsel at the time. And finally, when Donald Trump produced those 15 boxes of documents, handed them over to the archives couldn't really specify, Steve, what they wanted, except for, let's see, remember the Sharpie Gate map of Hurricane Dorian? That was one record they said they wanted. The letter that Barack Obama left for Donald Trump in the Oval Office, some other correspondence. So then, within 24 hours, the National Archivist in January 2022 claimed that he saw classified papers in there, worked again with DOJ to create this criminal referral and send it to the FBI in February of 2022. Now, Steve, that's the story that we've been told. You know, the boxes were turned over. Oops, there were classified documents. Then the FBI and DOJ got involved. No. The FBI and DOJ, at least the DOJ, top officials, including the Office of the Deputy Attorney General, Lisa Monaco, deeply involved in creating this case. That is why Special Counsel Jack Smith and the DOJ wanted this material and this evidence under seal. And it was, for the most part, unredacted and made public on the docket yesterday.
Wow. And you know, folks, this is just the edge of, this is not even a whole piece of pie. This is just the crust. There is so much more that's going to come out of this, especially if all the documentation that has been redacted or just been denied availability actually gets to come out. We're going to find out how everybody worked together, from Obama, Biden, the White House, all the Obama people that Biden has in place to basically lead him around on a leash. Those are the same people that were in there when Obama was in there, and then when Trump was in there, a lot of them lost their job. As soon as Biden got back in there, a lot of those people were reappointed and got raises, got better paying jobs, got promotions. But truth be known, most of Biden's staff, is Obama staff. If that doesn't tell you something, nothing does. I'm talking about the Susan Rice, Ron Klain, all these George Soros funded crooked people whispering in Joe Biden's ear. There's a massive list of them. But at any rate, we'll find out about several more following Julie Kelly. Go check her out, folks, over on Twitter. I definitely suggest it. Benny Johnson had 2 different videos out in the last couple of days explaining a lot of this. And, wow, just blew the lid off the whole story. And we're just getting started with the information dribbling out. I already knew it was all tied together with the same bad actors. But now we're starting to see how it started in 2015 and is still in action today. That's what we're going to find out, folks. We're going to see the same people going after Trump, sabotaging Trump, spying on Trump, still doing it today. Like, subscribe, and share to Devoted Patriots. I hope you enjoyed the information. Spent way too much time making this video, but I do want to let you know I appreciate each and every one of you showing up and watching me till the end. Hopefully you learned something here today. And if you want to learn a little bit more about it, got more time than I do some research. It's out there. Go ask the AI chatbot about it. See what it says today. Over and out, folks. Everybody have a great day.